don't ever give up. Why? I don't ever give up. All right, what did we read about yesterday? I know we're getting towards the end. I know we're getting so dang close towards the end of this paid ad section. Locked, unlocked, and loaded, boys. What do we call this? Oh. We started reading the lessons Hormozy has... the lessons Hormozy has learned in his paid ads journey. Okay. Yeah, what are his lessons? We read the first two. The first lesson he learned was don't confuse an advertising problem with a sales problem or a sales problem with an advertising problem, okay? Don't confuse them. Well, how do you keep them straight? Okay? How do you keep them straight? An advertising problem versus a sales problem. Here's how you know you have a sales problem and not an advertising problem. You have a sales problem if you're getting engaged leads from your ads that have the problem that your offer solves and that have the money to afford purchasing. If you got these three things, you got a sales problem, not an advertising problem. If you don't have all three things, meaning you don't have engaged leads, or you do have engaged leads but they don't have the problem you solve, or you do have engaged leads that do have the problem you solve, but they don't have the money to pay for it, well, guess what? You got an advertising problem. So that's how you keep it straight. That's how you know if you got an advertising problem or a sales problem, all right? Coolio. Next up. Second lesson he learned. Number two. Come on. What was it? There's UGC content in there. Organic content. 9 times out of 10, a well-performing organic post it's an organic post to social media, meaning you're not boosting it or paying for it as an ad. An organic post that does well, it's converting people, it's getting leads or it's getting sales just from organic. 9 times out of 10, that will work as a good paid ad. And a subsection of that lesson is if you can create a system in which your clients produce testimonial or usage videos, user-generated content about your offer, and then you post these organically, well, then you have a constant stream of new ad material because the testimony videos that perform well organically, you can then create, or then you can then take and boost or use as ads, which gives you a whole new stream, a constant stream of new ad material with very little extra input from you, sir. So that's it. What was the question before what have I learned? Because there's 4 questions in this chapter on paid ads, part 2. All right, come on now. Come to me. Ideas come to me. How do you know if your ads aren't performing well, how do you make them profitable? Well, how do we do that? You track it, first of all. That's not really part of the answer, but that was all about what was that all? That was about the upsell. That's what we read about yesterday too. That's a good catch by me. Thank you. We read about the upsell because you can run into cash flow problems if you do not collect the same amount of money that it costs you to acquire that client plus the cost of delivery on the first payment. If you don't collect equal to that or greater, then you're going to run into potentially a cash flow problem that's going to limit your scaling. And so how do you get to be break even or cash flow positive after the first purchase, or at least within the first 30 days? How do you do that? Upsell, baby. you upsell, which increases the average lifetime gross profit as well as the average gross profit after first purchase. That's how you do it. And once you get that break even or positive, cash flow positive on that first purchase on average, then you scale. Then you're out of the money problem. The money problem is never a thing again. That easy, bro. It's that easy, bro. All right. All right. Anything I'm forgetting? This is called client finance acquisition via upsells. Cool. All right. Okay. All right. Okay, here we go. Third lesson he's learned, and then I'll be back, and we are so close. I can see the end. We might finish reading it today, and then it's time for the video tutorial training. But wow, it's this, and then this, then your turn, and then conclusion. All right, let's do it. There you go, guys. The third lesson hormones he's learned in his paid advertising journey is: do not say that you're bad at something or suck at something, or not that, I'm not this type of person or that kind of girl or guy. I'm not a techie guy. I'm not a whatever, math girl. You don't say any of that stuff unless you want to be bad at it, right? Because you probably will. If you attach your identity to being bad at something, you'll probably find a way to be bad at it and not improve, because that's your identity. You want to stay congruent with your identity. I also would even caveat being like, I'm good at X, I'm good at Y, I'm good at this. I am statements are very tricky, and yeah, it keeps you not flexible and rigid, and it can lead you to taking shortcuts in order to maintain your ego and maintain your identity rather than actually getting better and progressing. It's a whole mindset. Carol Dweck research with identities and praising children with adjectives rather than praising their verbs. So anyway, the lesson was, don't call yourself that bad at something unless you want to be bad at it. Cool. Now we're going to get into the your turn section, which may be an action step. I don't know, but we're going to read it and I'll be back really quick. All right. We got it. Took care of it. The last section before the conclusion to wrap up paid ads part 2. Basically, the first half of this your turn section was about basically getting started, running your first ad. He's like, I'm going to teach you how to run your first paid ad and place an ad. It's going to cost you $100. Hope it's worth it, or it's worth it. Yes, it is. So just go place an ad for $100 on a platform, figure out how to do it, search a YouTube video, and then do it, run it. Luckily, I'm not wasting $100 because I'm already currently running ads at about $130 a day. So got the experience anyway. Then he says, then start learning. So start a learning phase, amount you can lose to learn. You're not going to potentially earn, you're going to be learning. And then eventually you're going to transition into, after you've learned enough, what works, scale it to based on sales goals and projections, and there you go. That's how you do it. I think paid advertising is really what set his business apart. Okay, then he gives a daily ads checklist. So basically, you're going to be running paid ads, targeting your target audience or lookalike audience. Sorry, I just blanked. How do you do it? You use the call out, the what, who, what, when framework, and then the call to action. Cool. How much money do you spend? Learning phase first, and then you reverse engineer based on sales goals. For how long? As long as it takes, and how many? 10 different ads with 30 plus hook variations. 30 hooks, I think. Did you say 30 plus or 30? $30 plus. All right. Cool, guys. All we've got left is the conclusion. So, yeah, I'm really considering doing this for my own business because we're doing paid ads for clients, but I'm considering doing this paid ads for ourselves. All right, I'm gonna read this whole thing, hopefully, and be able to get back to you, and I'll finish this section today. All right, guys, we've done it. We've done it. We've absolutely done it. We finished reading the paid ad section. What day is this? I don't know. I think this is about 2 weeks in, so it took us about, if it was actually 2 weeks, this took us nearly 7 hours, about 6.5 hours, but we've done it. We've really digested it. I've understood it very well. I'm ready to even potentially implement it all into my own business right now and see where I can take my own business. Yeah, I'm a little excited. I'm not gonna lie. Let's wrap up the conclusion. Basically, of the core 4 ways to get new clients, paid ads is the last section, and it's the fastest way to scale getting how many leads you're getting, but it's also recommended to go do last because of 2 reasons. One, you need money, which you can start making from the other 3 of the core 4 methods, and 2, it also requires skills a lot of skills that transfer from the first 3 you can transfer to this paid ads, and minimize your learning curve. And that's it. Tomorrow we're gonna actually do the bonus training paid ads fast track. High risk, high reward. Wow. There you go, guys. All right. That's it for today. I'll talk to you guys later.